Hello everyone and welcome to Best Side Cycling. In this video we're going to go over my Ride the Hurricane experience. This is an awesome ride that starts from sea level going up a whole mile in elevation, 5,200 feet in 20 miles. I of course decided to do this on my Brompton, and in this video you're going to get a full take of what the whole ride is like so you can do it for yourself, as well as I'm going to go over why I chose to do it on my Brompton, and of course the top question that everyone's been asking me: what is it like descending a mountain pass on a foldable bike? So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello everyone, so I'm here at 2023 Ride the Hurricane at the start line. I'm here with my Brompton today and we're about to just get rolling. It's right about 7 a.m. and yeah, we'll see how we get along, so let's go and check this out. So as we get going here, I want to start talking a little bit about the route and the event. We start here in Port Angeles, right here at the Olympic Discovery Trail. Awesome views of the water. We're going to make our way through town and all the way up Hurricane Ridge Road to the very top, where there's stunning viewpoints of everything around you. So what makes this event so special is that it happens the first Sunday of every August, where they basically gonna close the Hurricane Ridge Road down to cars. So basically it's car free, just for cyclists to enjoy, and it really does make a difference. I've ridden Hurricane Ridge once with cars before and without, and yeah, this is a much nicer experience. As we sort of get going along here, you're gonna notice a few things, and one is that I definitely love to climb, and this route was basically sort of built for me. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Brompton, but we're just going through here. Pretty excited to actually be around the crowds now as we are approaching the Olympic National Park Visitor Center with this beautiful sign on the right and the actual closed part of the course. And just as a heads up, really for this whole course, the steepest section is between here and the Harlow Hills Ranger Station, where you pay to get in. So that's why there's going to be a lot more cyclists in this area as we all work through the slightly higher gradients compared to the rest of the route. And as we finally pass here to the closed section, that was just sort of proof that I'm actually sort of working hard for this whole ride. Even though I'm on a Brompton, this is not going to be a necessarily chill ride. And yeah, I mean, that sound you heard is not actually a motor. For those of you new to Brompton, it's actually the internal hub. On the lowest gear, it tends to make that type of noise. And yeah, in terms of the bike I'm riding, I made a video on it before. It's the C-Line. It is a steel foldable bike, about 30 pounds, probably my whole setup. I have a front bag and everything, and of course the famous 16-inch wheels that this bike features. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that this bike climbs just as fast as a road bike, but it definitely has the gear ratios at least to keep me going on these gradients. So we're at one of the main slogs for the ride. This section before the ranger station is probably like half a mile at like 8-9%, so definitely takes more work here. And you see around there's like a long line, the cyclists just sort of spread out, going up and down. So let's keep rolling. And in terms of the views for this whole bottom section, is really gonna look similar to this, so sort of forested on both ends, but it's still a lovely time just being able to cycle with so many people climbing up hills. And one of my favorite parts about joining these rides now is also having some of you guys sort of notice me and say hi. All right, so we're here climbing Hurricane Ridge and we run into, who is this?
Mishan.
Mishan. Is this your, hello, is this your first time doing the Hurricane Ridge?
No, second.
Second? How do you feel you're gonna do this time?
Better.
Better?
Yeah.
Awesome. So definitely don't be shy about approaching me if you ever see me out on the road. I love interacting with all of you as we make it to our first aid station here. We have a lot of them for this route actually, about 5 of them I think every 3 odd miles. So definitely is a super well supported route, and a really big props to the organizers here, and sort of leading me into the next sort of topic of why I chose to ride a Brompton up a giant mountain. And it really distills down to just for fun, and it was just a lot more convenient for the plans I had this weekend. So getting into it, really I think if I brought my road bike here, I would really be able to do it more or less self-supported, just sort of zip up the mountain at my current level of fitness and climbing ability. But I really wanted to sort of take in the whole experience of riding this car free, riding together with other riders, stopping and seeing all the little things. And that's something that you don't always get to do on a road bike, what a Brompton always will encourage you to do. So moreover, with all the aid stations that I just sort of mentioned, my current setup, I can only hold one bottle. So I knew I probably would need at least more than one. So it's perfect in that way. And then also in terms of the convenience part, this is sort of the setup I had bringing the Brompton here. I actually had my whole family in tow with me, so it really didn't take much extra effort to bring a bike along, and that fact is always going to be one of Brompton's biggest strengths, just having a bike wherever you go. So when you look at that, we've made it here down to the ranger station, and we can check out some of the amenities that they offer before going on. Bananas, Cliff Bars, oranges, muffins, and of course water and Gatorade. So after a quick break, we're gonna keep on rolling. Check out these views out to the left as it opens up. But yeah, from here, it's gonna get a lot more steady, and it's just gonna be like a long gradual climb up. I wish the whole thing was that steep, but alas, it's not. So we're gonna keep going. And I have a new friend here riding with me, so it's good. Have some more power in numbers, and yeah.
I'm hoping there's truffles.
Oh!
Did you do it last year?
No, not the event. I rode this like 2 years ago just for fun. But yeah.
They have
on your left.
truffles at the top.
Okay.
Well, the last rest stop. At least that last year they did.
That's a pro tip. And another pro tip is definitely to roll over that like button and subscribe. I just cover all sorts of Seattle cycling on this channel, and especially recently there's a lot of videos on the Brompton because I'm gearing up to ride from here to Vancouver with the RSVP event coming later this month. So there's a lot of rides coming up and a lot of info to share. So if you're riding around here or just want to learn more, this channel is perfect for you. I'm making all these videos really just for fun, just to get more people on their bikes here in the Puget Sound. But anyway, as we go and get along here, I just can't understate how nice it is to just have someone to sort of talk to and ride with. It really helps set a rhythm for a ride like this, especially for any long climb. The rhythm is really key to just sort of keep you going, because it's gonna feel very monotonous and sometimes very hard, but if you get someone there to distract you, mentally it gets a lot easier. Hello. Oh wow, this view is awesome. Alright, so this is one of the first main views that you get, as well as you also have the aid station over here. So let's just check it out really quickly before we go, just keep on rolling. We have featuring gummy bears.
Yeah, we got gummy bears. We do.
BB!
Little package. Encore, encore! Alright.
Hill.
So with that call to the cavalry, it's time to roll, and this next section is definitely worth calling out if you're especially coming here not part of the event. There's sort of 3 tunnels in a row, and they get honestly pretty dark. There's me eating the gummy bears, but yeah, definitely just make sure if you do come here, just to maybe have some lights or just be a little conscious, because it's going to be hard for cars to spot you. With bikes, it's a little bit more reasonable as we're not going nearly as fast, but just something to call out here. As yeah, there's 3 of them basically in a row. The GoPro stabilization just sort of goes crazy when you go through dark places, so you get sort of an idea here. But yeah, now the next section is a slog, but then I run into some friends, and then we'll go see what happens next.
Good job on the Brompton.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see it on the YouTube.
Thank you. Have a good ride.
What do we always say?
What?
Dig deep.
Dig deep, alright. So those words really spoke out to me as I decided to latch onto his wheel. Also, I know these guys, and he actually has a camera out from the back of his saddle. So here's some of those angles of me trying to just follow them along on my Brompton. I don't know how much draft I'm actually getting here, but basically from this point forward, the ride probably averages about 4 to 5% gradient. So if any part of the ride it is to follow along people, this part is the right one. As you just sort of go through all these winds and turns, there's going to be a lot of good views out to the left as you keep going. But yeah, I hold this for a little while, and then I think Michael here spots sort of a new target to follow, so then I go ahead and tag along, and you can see we're going at a pretty decent pace. I think I look at the Garmin, I'm like 16 miles per hour going uphill at this probably flatter section. But yeah, I mean, you definitely need sort of the maturity to recognize that, yeah, you're probably going way too hard and sustainable and for what's fun. So I think after taking with you guys a little bit, thank you so much. I tap out and surely the gap is formed and I'm back to riding solo. Right, so we're here at another aid station, only 6 miles left to go. The rest is pretty steady, but it's a lot of winds and turns, so let's go and see what it looks like.
Only 6 miles.
Sorry for the close-up angle here, but we are a good ways through the ride, about 14.65 miles. So far, yeah, it's been a pretty good ride. Weather's a little bit cloudy, but there's just an amazing amount of aid stations along the way that makes this ride super duper approachable. And the fact that there's no cars means, yeah, I can just be here in the middle. So definitely good day so far. We're gonna just keep on trucking now. It's just holding a steady 6% about here, and just a lot of these winds and turns as you keep going. But yeah, in terms of the Brompton, can it climb? Definitely, but I wouldn't pull any of your legs and say that it's faster or just as fast as a road bike. But is it that slow? No, it's just mainly paying for sort of the weight penalty when going uphill, because it is still like a 30-pound bike when I'm riding here. But otherwise, still rolling well. We'll make it up to the top. Hey, alright, get in. That side? We found some more friends here. Who do you have riding with us?
Zach, first time. Kevin, fourth time.
Fourth time, nice. So how you guys find it today so far?
Not hot.
Not hot, that's good.
It's great, actually. I'm getting old.
Getting old. I really can't understate just how fun it is to ride with all of you as this community is growing, and especially for a ride like this where it's just like sort of one hill, it's really easy to run into each other. So yeah, basically at this point, driven by community and also the Truffles up ahead, we're almost there at the last rest stop before the very top summit.
We got you! We got you! Woo! We got you! Let's go, go, go! Woo! Woo-hoo! Push, push, push!
So 2.8 miles from the top, you are treated to some chocolate truffles from Simply Sensational Chocolates. They look super duper awesome, as yeah, definitely I got the good warning that these were coming up, and this was definitely well worth it. As well as just a really fun call out to the Brompton. You don't need a rack stand, you just sort of need to put in the kickstand mode and you're off to go. So after enjoying that, we are off again, and I want to introduce you to the fastest man on this hill this whole day, Rex Lee. He just comes flying by me. He started a decent time after me, and yeah, he is gone. So this is definitely not a race, but I know the organizers did put up a segment Strava challenge that sort of got mixed up because there's a lot of different routes on the bottom. So that part was just featuring sort of the main one that a lot of people use from the visitor center all the way to the top. And I think it's sort of worth calling out here, but once you're at that last rest stop, you're going to see this wide sweeping bend, and you're going to think it's the end because it sort of looks really similar to how the finish looks and just sort of like curves off. But the truth is that there's actually two large sweeping wide bends. So definitely don't fall for that, because I think for this ride I actually did and I had that small sense of the finish. But regardless, as I noticed that the ending is not actually here, we just keep rolling along, enjoying these beautiful views. Nearing the final corners. So yeah, you can see the giant view next to me, behind me. And that's definitely one of my favorite parts of this ride. It's just these sweeping views. Can't really replicate it. Definitely when you're riding, it might feel like a slog you see bend after bend, but once you're familiar with the course, then you know when you can start to celebrate. But yeah, a bit cloudy, about 2 miles left, and this is what you see. Awesome views. We're definitely gonna make it up. Just a few more. Thank you. So you know we're getting close because we can start hearing the drum beating at the very top. I think they have a drumming team to send you across the finish line. To the left. And yeah, just a short ride up so we see the finish. Check this out. Here on the right, drumming team and a bunch of people rolling down. Half a mile. So after all that work, we're just about at the top. And then this was a video I took the day prior up on the Hurricane Ridge hike of this sort of final U-shaped bend. And yeah, it's a beautiful day, beautiful views, ready to finish off this ride. So let's go get it. Definitely not really going for time, but so far my lapsed riding time has been around 2 hours 20 minutes, and we're almost there. And this feeling should be similar for everyone. As you round this final corner, you see the parking lot, you know that you are finally done this climb, and you can enjoy, relax, and enjoy all the sights.
That was awesome.
And we made it. Woo! All right, so we made it to the top here with my Brompton, all 5,200 feet and 20 miles. So we got the descent to go. I know a lot of you guys are curious if the Brompton can descend down high mountains, so I'll show you what that's like. But yeah, so far right now, we're just gonna be here enjoying all these views. Overall, pretty good. There's a tiny bit of cloud break, but more or less just good weather up here. Not too windy. But there's definitely some wildlife around here. And the other quick thing I wanted to mention is definitely consider supporting your national parks, and in particular the Hurricane Ridge, as they recently had the visitor lodge burned down. So that is a cause you can look into, as we are now gonna get geared up to do the descent. Here we go downhill. So what I'm going to say next might surprise some of you, as a lot of you asked me what's like descending down of mountain pass with a Brompton. Is it safe? Are the rim brakes going to hold? But really, in all seriousness, I actually enjoy descending down these type of hills on the Brompton more than my road bike. And the reason is because the net effect of riding a Brompton down these hills is that your speed sort of caps off a lot lower than a road bike, and your maneuverability actually is a fair bit higher. So I am a pretty nervous descender, and I'm not that great at corners, but even for me, and I'll explain why that is, but even for me, I basically did not have to brake going down this hill, and I was going down at a pretty controlled pace the whole time. The bike felt super stable as long as you have those hinge claps nice and tight. So I know some of you might be skeptical, so I'll explain deeper why it ends up being that way. But here's the first corner, and probably the one you have to worry the most about, because it is the most windy out of this whole course, as it's like just wide open here. They do have railing at least, but yeah, we make it through just fine, as we are now going to get prepared to become a total encouragement train for all the people riding up, and it's going to be a ton of fun, and probably the funnest descent I've had in a really, really long time. Let's go! Woo-hoo! Keep going. You got this. Keep it going. Half a mile. All right, hey, you guys got this. You got this. Woo! Alright, so I'll save you from all that bell ringing and yelling, but that is basically what I did as I passed by this main group of people. It was super fun, as a lot of people waved back, and I was able to see some frowns turn back into smiles as they were trying to climb up this hill. So that gives me a lot of joy inside. But digging deeper, why I think the Brompton has those characteristics that makes it, at least for me, funner to descend on. And I think one of the key things is the frame. It's definitely a lot heavier than my road bike, almost twice as heavy at 30 pounds, as well as it's a lot lower to the ground. So that brings a ton of stability. In terms of the slower speed, we can see we're sort of locked out here at like 27, 28 miles per hour. I'm a super lightweight guy, but I definitely can go a lot faster on a road bike. And the reason for that lower speed is probably because of the smaller wheels. The momentum that it can end up holding at the very end is not nearly as high as sort of a larger wheel, as well as the position you're on the bike. With the flat bars, it's just a lot less aerodynamic. So putting all that together, we end up at a pretty controlled pace for this course, and especially since the Brompton in general, if you've ever ridden it, just handles a lot tighter turns with the smaller wheels. It just feels really natural to go through these bends without needing to brake or something like that. But definitely I'll say I am a weird one that doesn't really enjoy descending overall. I'm not much of a risk taker, so I actually enjoy climbing up hills than going down hills. So for people that like going fast and that exhilaration, they probably won't get as much joy of this as for me. But I definitely had a fun time going down the hill. But I will say, obviously, this bike is not impervious to everything. If you do need to brake a lot, it does feature brakes with aluminum rims, and generally the smaller wheels will sort of overheat a little bit quicker than the bigger ones. So that's really just a call out, not to say that it's not impervious to all situations, but for this one where it's a little bit more of a gradual descent, I thought it was perfect. And you can see me just having a blast here.
Oh, you're finally here! Where were you guys? Why so late? Oh, I see you later! You got a chance! Go, Jin, go!
So that was just some flybys who I like to call the Best Side Cycling Racing Division, or just really the guys who support the channel are just really fast. There's no actual racing going on, but yeah, we make our way slowly but surely down this hill. We get passed by some other cyclists on normal sized bikes, but that's quite all right. And as we make it back through town, we definitely just get back to right where we started on the Olympic Discovery Trail as we head over the finish line. Alright, so we made it all the way back here to the pier with the Brompton. Going to brush up and then check out what's the after party and festivities that they have. So comment below what you thought of my Brompton ride, what kind of other adventures you want to see next. Would you ride the Hurricane yourself? And anything else you want to let me know. And I'll see you all in the next video.